Yeah.
We had some sushi for lunch.
Oh man,
what did you eat?
I had some ramen in a hot day. That was terrible.
Wait, we just had ramen too.
Yeah, we had ramen, but it's that hot. Did you got it like fresh?
Yeah, it was at a ramen place that's probably the best I've ever tasted.
I think it's worth it then.
It's called Silver Lake. Have you heard that?
Oh yes.
Yeah, Silver Lake.
Silver Lake.
The garlic
one,
truffle is
yeah.
the one I always get.
We're not sponsored by Silver Lake, by the way.
I know. I want to actually try that one. There's one in downtown.
Oh yes, there is. There
so
is.
we can try that.
really
Yeah,
good.
it's really good.
All right, so we're live.
Yeah.
Another day, another episode.
Yep. Good afternoon.
So, what's new? What's gonna happen this weekend?
Yo, this weekend is gonna be really nice. You know, we're heading out over to New York.
Wow.
So for those who are listening to us from New York, we'll be in your area. I think towards Flushings. I think right.
Yeah,
Flushings.
LaGuardia.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be at LaGuardia near that area, but we'll probably be hanging out at Manhattan.
Yeah, so we're gonna have that meeting there, but actually, we actually much more planned where we're gonna eat and we're gonna go. But actually, you know, speaking of traveling, right? Now I think we traveled last year, December to Dallas, so that one was kind of, you know.
That was new.
Yeah, and that was like fresh to COVID, right?
Yeah.
So I remember I have all the wipes, the mask, you know, I have to wipe all the seats. But actually at the time too, our flight was full. There's middle seats.
No.
Yeah.
Like it's full. Like
it's supposed to be every other, right?
Yeah, at the time it's not.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
So this time we're gonna travel again, and we'll see the difference.
No,
right?
it's gonna be if it's that full in the beginning of COVID, it's gonna be
asphalted.
Yeah,
or more.
There's people sitting in the middle.
yeah.
Because I tried. You know how you assign your seats? I couldn't even find any open ones.
Oh,
It had
that's
to be
true.
in the middle.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. Actually, purchase the premium seat so I can kind of pick where I can.
I was gonna do the first class. I think I should do that.
No, I don't think it's worth it. You just sit in the front. It's the same. It's not.
Yeah,
like-
because
But there's only
it's
two people.
domestic. Oh, I see what you're trying to say.
There's two seats.
That's true. The only thing is, like, I'm afraid is, you know, because they've been canceling flights and stuff. So
That's why I'm going early tomorrow.
hopefully it doesn't get canceled
So
last minute.
you're leaving tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow night, like late night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're brave
They're a
enough to
red
do
eye.
a red eye.
Yeah.
I don't
We're
know.
doing
how
red.
you guys-
I don't know how we're gonna do it, man.
Sleeping.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know how we're gonna
well, kind of early because my flight is at 6, so I have to be there like, what, 4?
I
You're
think
at the
we're-
same time,
I
right?
think we're at the same time.
No, but you're different airline though.
Delta.
Yeah.
And guess
No,
what?
no pun intended.
No.
But I'm American Airlines, so we might see each other. But I'm gonna get there like 4:30, and yours is 5, right?
Yeah. And his is worse airline.
Yeah, man. I don't know why I got mine.
Yeah.
That's because you didn't book your own
I know.
flight.
It's
That's
like-
This is what happens when you don't book it yourself.
The seats are like foldable chairs.
I know, dude.
and you just have
That's why I got like the front seat for every single one.
you just have to pray all the way until you get there. All right, so we have an amazing guest today.
Yes.
I want to introduce this person. I met her probably 2 years, because it's before COVID. Yeah, so 2 years ago, I met her in an awkward location, namely Starbucks.
Yeah.
So I met her on there. For some reason, actually, and she was introduced to me by her manager, which is Julius Floria,
Yes.
and we were actually going to discuss other things, but I shared the business to her,
Yeah.
and the benefits, and luckily she was actually already in the business.
Nice.
It's just a different company.
Mm.
So introduced it to her. At the time, she was kind of on and off. Kind of testing the water and seeing what's the difference. Took her a couple weeks to at least a month, I believe, and then she started working. And she's gonna tell the story how she was at the time, what she was doing, and very proud of her. She has started already a small to medium team. She has about close to 50 associates already. She was actually also close to 100,000
Wow.
at that time, before COVID.
Nice.
And of course, COVID hit. A lot of our agents or associates actually got affected. But fortunately enough, she's still here, doing the
Yep.
business. Very proud of her. She just recruited someone yesterday from North Carolina.
Nice.
That's the good thing about our business. We were here doing Zoom meeting. I was actually doing a webinar, and she was recruiting there. So,
Or just
remotely.
like back to back.
Yeah. So that's the good thing about our business is you can do it wherever you want, but
Yep.
still able to help people.
That's true.
So without further ado, let me introduce to you Suzette Reyes.
Hi.
You have fans.
Wow, fans.
Yeah.
I said, where is that clapping coming?
All right. So introduce yourself for the people that doesn't know you. Usually our guests kind of share what they did before, maybe your job.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so like what I said, my name is Suzette. Yeah, and remember I always introduce myself all of us, our meeting and everything. What is our group meetings and then our BOP. Yeah, I don't know. I always want to have a terminology for myself like that, a coracha.
What does that mean
Yeah,
for
and then-
people who are listening?
Yeah, some people I know they don't understand the meaning of coracha, but I just know that you're always not stopping from doing something. So yeah, but before those kind of coracha terms is because I don't know if you're gonna believe me, guys. I'm the person that I think I have like 4 works or 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
something
one
like
thing
that.
about her. I mean,
Yeah, like
when I met
anything.
her, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so when we met each other in Starbucks, and I asked her what she does for a living, she said, I deliver medication in a pharmacy.
doing DoorDash.
And then she's doing DoorDash.
Yep.
And then she has another one. I know she has 3.
Yeah, I'm
before.
working in a little restaurant like Turo Filipino
Restaurant.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
in Pinoy Food Republic.
so that's
Oh.
like 3 or 4 jobs at the same time.
Yeah.
On top of being a
Wow.
mother,
Yeah.
I know.
taking care of her kids. So that's 4 jobs. And I said, okay, if we're gonna do this business, how are you gonna squeeze this?
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good question.
Right. So you were doing those jobs at the time, multiple jobs, and then you were licensed already when I met you, right?
Yeah, I'm already licensed.
So what got you into the industry? Like, what made you curious at the time to kind of test the financial industry, specifically in the insurance?
Yeah, to be honest, James, remember when I met you? Actually, you're in the middle of like my anger.
Oh, we're not gonna talk about that.
No, what I mean is just like, oh, I hate insurance. Like whenever I heard insurance, I don't want to do it anymore.
Oh,
you know,
Oh, okay.
because like what I told you, all of us, right? We're always testing the water. In
Yeah.
any also like work, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes you want to try this job because you're some kind of a confused, or sometimes because you heard it's $20 per hour, even
Mhm.
though you don't know what it is. You want to try, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
So, Because this industry was being introduced to me since 2008.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Wow.
from those, company, like those nice company, insurance company, those broker. But it sounds like it's always intimidating for me. It doesn't reward, it's not
Yeah.
a rewarding. Like, and then from the port, I think no, yeah, the port, I said, it's done. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But on that fort, I was being licensed. I got the license.
Oh, okay. So the
Yeah.
first couple companies or people that introduced you to the business, you weren't really licensed yet. You're not into the business yet. So you.
I'm into the business, but the thing is, I can't find the thing that I found here.
Oh, okay. So
It was
so,
the culture.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she was introduced to the business at the time. So what got you curious on the business? Was it the income or was it the culture or the product?
Actually, remember when you sit down with me, right? We're in Starbucks, and I don't have a sleep at all because I drove like 18 hours. Sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah, sometimes
18.
one day.
Wow.
Like I only
That's
sleep
a
in
lot
my
of
car.
driving.
And then when you told me, like, remember I said, James, you know what? Because he started, right? And I already know everything about that. I don't want to see any compensation plans. It's just because all of my respect for my dearest friend, Julius Floria, because we've been together on the fourth company that I told you
Yes.
that I was licensed. Because
Yeah.
he is one of a certified field trainer on that company.
Uh-huh.
Because they have a certified field trainer. And then all of a sudden, I know God's really make a way like an instrument because I was in a pharmacy, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
A carrier, like a deliverer of the medicine. And then all of a sudden, he was having a medical supplies company also. But in top of that, he was a hidden agenda. He brings this guy. And then I said, oh my God. So I said, Jules, what is this? And then he was started like that. And then when you said, right, and then, okay, ate, this, if you want to have this RVP promotion, and then, because I was on a 45% level on other
Before.
company,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Before I joined, before he introduced this. And I was looking like, oh, 40,000 points? Like, what?
That
Yeah.
easy?
Yeah, number one. And then secondly, I listened to you, to the products, right? Like
Yeah.
because I'm not really looking on you. Like, I'm just liking like that. And then when I see that, and then I heard the carriers, because the company that I was being with before this, they only offered 2 carriers.
Yeah, and then you saw that we offer
Yeah,
four.
like, oh, and then that's it. And then when you showed me the ultimate pay grid,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because to be honest, I always now I put a lot of values and like what you call that, our hopes and
Yeah.
good thoughts every day,
Mhm.
especially the vision of Goldenstar, right? Mission first before commission.
Yes.
I learned that from Mama Gems. But to be honest, guys, when I was always coming to the industry of life insurance, right? Because you will see all of your mentors before, they were just like, wow, they're having this car, they're having this nice
Yeah.
houses,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're having those kind of luxury signature, whatever like that. So I was always thinking that I'm going to be an insurance agent for me to have this kind of thing, to give this to my family,
Yeah, yeah.
those
To
4
change your life,
company,
yeah.
right? And now this one, like, and then especially when I go to the Las Vegas,
Convention.
no, yeah, and then no, there's what do you call that? Because Mr. Ron Petronovich, our CEO, is the one who, like an
DOP.
IUL
IUL
something.
University.
University.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. And then he says, when you go here and then your motive is just to make money, you're not belong here. And I was just like, that's why I was here, because I want to make money.
Yeah.
Is he talking to me?
It's like,
Even
oh,
in the convention, that's why my sweetest honey bee, like honey bakunao, like she was always laughing, like she was just like doom, because she knows me, like
Yeah.
hey, he was saying mission first before commission. I think I'm not gonna do this. And then from like, that's why I'm telling to you guys, I really changed myself, and then I think it also helped me to build a little bit people right now that I'm having because of that culture.
And that's
you know.
very true. And Aizen, I, and Fred always actually talk about it. It's the culture that brings you to a business. It's not just the money you're gonna make or the product you offer. it's also who you're gonna work with, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing as a job. You know, why are you gonna stick on the job and you'd hate your coworkers, right?
Or your boss.
Yeah, or your boss. So, and that's what I like about the companies. It's a perfect balance of owners. You know, one is a product guy, the other one is a builder.
It's a builder.
The other one is more of a number guy, and that's what I like about that you know, partnership, because it's a perfect blend.
Yep.
So going back to that, so you got your license on the previous company, but you weren't actually doing the business at the time.
Exactly.
And then you join us, and that you see the culture, and change. You want to add?
Yeah, is it okay? Because I want to I think it was last week we talked about time management with obstacles.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go back. We went talk about like 3 jobs, and you were transitioning into adding
This one.
insurance, life insurance.
4.
You know, that's gonna be 4. It's 4 now, right?
Yeah.
How, you know, for those who are
kids, by the
and
way.
kids. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got to think about these. There's 5 things pretty much. 3 jobs. You're adding now the life insurance industry. You have a family. You're trying to manage all of this, and we do get comments from a lot of agents, and they're asking, I don't know how I can do. I don't have enough time.
Yeah.
Like I don't have enough time. Okay, so now we have this lady here who is doing almost 5 things now. How are you able to juggle?
I know. You know what, Ace? Me, myself, and I always asking that also, especially when I wake up in the morning. Like, actually, I'm not wake up in the morning because I'm still awake up in the morning and sleeping. Like, people sleep, I'm still awake. Because I'm telling you, I adapt myself for having 4 jobs, right? So I think the very first move that I did, that's why I step out, not doing anymore those kind of 4 jobs, is the system of this company.
Okay.
The system, and then at the same time, it's all about the clients.
Yes.
Because if you believe on that thing, because I really say it to myself, I just want to give you an example. Because when before, right, when in our office in West Covina, before 6:30, I was just like always a drama. Like I have a costume. When you see my car, I'm look like that RAV4, like a homeless, because you can see
a lot of stuff in there.
The different costume change.
I have a rubber shoes. I have a slipper. I have a pants. I have my pharmacy carrier.
Everything.
I have my DoorDash T-shirt. I have a DoorDash bag in there, and then whenever the BOP comes, right, and then I just want to see myself in there, and then but I can't because I need to go.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
So in that moment, I was just like trying to test it only 1 month because I was running the RVP promotions, right, and then I said I'm gonna do this once a day. That's only my day off, right?
Yes.
And then I'm doing appointment.
Yeah.
I'm really trying, even though like, hey, you know what? I know. Because before they really show yourself like, oh, you're a water, you're a supplements, you're your insurance.
Yeah,
again,
yeah, you do
right?
all different
It's really
things.
hard that people will believe you.
Yes.
And then, but I didn't stop at all.
Yeah.
I said, I still try. And then I think maybe really like God see my hard works, right? And then all of a sudden I always got an appointment. And then, but I need to work in pharmacy at night, right? And then in the morning, I need to do my things for my family.
Mm-hmm.
And then my husband, to be honest, we're always like battling,
Yeah.
He is one of my great motivator. Because I'm not saying that he doesn't believe, but he was just like, hey lady, you said 6 figure. Where is your 6 figure?
Yeah, I remember that. Is that
It was
at
amazing.
first, not that the husband doesn't support her, but we rarely see him in the office before like meetings or conventions.
Yeah, I think it's because of experience, right? Like the past companies.
Yeah.
probably
Yeah,
felt
I can't blame him because to be honest, it's hard, right? Because you have 3 kids, right?
Yes.
You need to cook, especially he works, right? And then you cannot just like doing this appointment, but it's
Yeah.
very hard because you cannot just like do appointments because the bill's gonna come, right?
Correct.
So when you do appointments, you also spending gas and then your time, right? And then not every single family that you go there,
Will say
it's already
yes.
a sale.
Yeah.
But his mentality is an employee mentality because he works in Hyatt for how many years now?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
19
then
years,
yeah, and then like you said, because you were doing multiple things, so he has seen all of it, and the six figures you
All
were saying.
negative, like what he
He already has that trademark.
Yeah,
that,
meetings
it's not-
late,
yeah.
especially like meetings late, and then he was did you learn? Oh, what? Where's the six figure? Like.
I mean, I don't blame him because it's like you've been through that and it's nothing happened. But the good thing
Yeah.
is, like now I see him.
I see him
meeting.
often.
Yeah.
He's actually the one, supporting him now. He even asks questions now.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then remember before COVID, when Ron Petronovich was here, and they were talking about the market, whatever, something like that, and then all of a sudden I was surprised because we're on the other room, right, and then there's a CPA whatever also
Yeah.
like trying to ask something, and then he was just like, hey man. Do you know the right? This is the right. And I said, what is that? And then, okay. I said, that's correct. And then he posted in Facebook like he's doing a marketing for us, you know.
Wow.
And then I
Yeah.
remember too, he also set up appointments
nice.
for us before too with his coworkers,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it was important because going back to Ace's question,
yeah,
you were already in the business kind of, and then while doing those things, but some people that are in the business that is not even in the business yet,
Yep.
just got invited to a presentation. They're already responds, I can't do it because I don't have time.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but she has 4 things to do on top of family.
I mean, you said 18 hours,
Yeah.
Yeah.
driving.
I remember she was saying about the BOP meetings and she has a lot of clothes in her car. There was times that she will forget that she's still wearing her pharmacy uniform, and did you just got off work? And she will remember, oh yeah, I just drove from the pharmacy and I have a delivery
Yeah.
after this meeting.
Yeah, and then my manager always just like, Suzette, the facility of Beverly Hills is already waiting for the meds and you're not here. And I can
Oh,
say,
wow.
because I'm doing insurance.
Yeah. So if it's
That's
okay too, I'm
funny.
gonna share the story too. Is that at the time, so she was doing all of this, and the good thing is she was consistent. She was always here on our regular meetings, attending and trying to learn, right?
yeah.
And like she said, she was setting up appointments at the time, and then I can't forget this day. She said,
I
James,
know.
I'm gonna attend the meeting, right? She attended and we saw, and then she was an actual like business attire at the time, not on uniform. And she told me like, did you know I quit 2 of my jobs?
Yeah.
I think it's 2 or
Wow.
3. I said, okay, hold on, Suzette. You're still running on your RVP promotion.
Yeah.
If you quit your job and you haven't replaced your income, I think that's not a good idea. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to force you to do that, because our key is to replace your job has to fund your business, and
Yeah.
eventually your business can replace your income.
Yeah.
And that's the time you can kind of quit your job, right?
Exactly.
But she took that leap and she said, and with the help of her husband as well, if you're really going to focus on this thing, if you think this is going to change our life and this is your last chance,
yeah.
then might as well put everything on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at that time, what made you decide to like, okay, let me quit these 2 jobs?
Yeah, the thing that I decide is like what I told you, I test it, right? Once a week.
Mhm.
I said this is only once a week. And then if I always putting an excuse to myself before, I said I'm gonna see myself 40 years stuck in here like this
The
kind
same
of
thing.
work, right? And then I said, I will just do it, right? And I said, and from there I'm gonna keep learning. I tell it to myself, this is gonna be my new work.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I really consider this as a work.
That's good.
Because that's the only thing I could get out from those 4 jobs,
Good
right?
mentality.
Yeah, and then also second thing that I was also decided to do it because I never see my kids at all for having a long time like that.
Yeah.
that
Oh, I
long
remember you were
hour.
saying your kids even
And
thought you were a nurse because you
Your
always work at
hours.
night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I was working before, and then I still kept, because I'm a very competitive person, to be honest. Like, if I really want something, I'm not gonna stop. I said, I want to see why I got failed,
Yeah.
and if I got failed, I said I still need to try.
Yeah.
Until I
Until you get it.
Yeah.
Because I said like you and you, right, and you, right. I said, how come they're like that? I'm always telling to my kids and to my husband. I also shared every single time, all of your achievements, like you buy your car, the Tesla, and then you were been in Huntington before, and now it's upgraded to Newport Beach, and you're engineer and something like that. I always motivate myself. If they having this kind of living lifestyle today, why we can't,
Yeah.
it's just like I said, you need to be coachable, and then you need to follow the
It's
footsteps
true.
of just get away from the
Yeah.
from that good what you call that. Yeah, because before, like what I told you, maybe the mentorship and the leadership that I
Yeah.
have is not a great leader.
It's not a good match.
Or not a genuine.
Yeah,
I could also
genuine.
say.
Yeah, it's not genuine.
Because they just faking you, like all those material things that you saw. It is not really for
Yeah.
real. Yeah.
Well, like something I know about you, if you don't mind me sharing.
Sure.
Because I talked to her husband a little bit. I remember one of the reasons why he wanted you to quit is because I think this one time it was like in the middle of the night, you left your key inside. It was a delivery. You left it in the delivery truck.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
And it's
that's
very
also like a
dangerous in the middle of the
sign.
night.
Yeah.
And
no.
I think it was in LA, right?
No, yeah.
So he was asleep already, and then you were calling. Luckily, he answered because he woke up.
A lot of situation. Actually, I also got robbed.
And then she's all those things
Wow.
those are all signs of
Yeah.
her. You need to
That,
move
my
forward.
money is supposed to be, I deposited in my bank, and then my money was there in my wallet.
Wow.
And that's why I said, my God, now God give me a sign, because I'm always praying to God, like, God, give me a sign. If because you remember I signed up February, and then February, March, April, right? And that's like I didn't do at all.
Yeah.
I just like tested.
Testing it, yeah.
And then those months I got struggled for those kind of situation that I say to myself that, my God, this is not a job for me. To be honest, this is a job for a man. But that's me. Like, I don't care if this is
Because
for a man.
you have to put food on
You have to
table.
Yeah, I
provide.
said, if this is the thing that's also gives my satisfaction, because I'm telling you, I'm a little bit stubborn. I think I see myself even before I'm not an employee person.
Yeah,
Because
probably.
I don't want to be like repeatedly like 9 to 5. Oh my God, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Because even in the Philippines, I was in sales. So I also handle people. I don't want to stuck in the office. I
Yeah.
don't like
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
And the
But-
thing is, like, also, like, like sometimes you have to put yourself against the wall.
Yeah,
And
she got tested.
a lot of times.
Definitely.
And then Jules told me, see, that something happened to you. Oh my God, my dear, I'm telling you, just try this and then quit that kind of job.
Yeah.
And then I'm still afraid. And then that thing happened when I got robbed. I pushed myself. I said, no, I need to do an appointment. And then it's hard because you're going to battle again to your husband, like, my God, you're going to leave early. And then you know what time is it? And then you're going to go home tomorrow morning. Because I said, sorry, I need to do this. Just forgive me. I said, just try it, and if didn't work, I promise you, I'm just gonna go back to a regular employee.
And it's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
important too. Do you
That's
guys
good.
think is your support of your family, your wife?
Yeah, that's important.
It's very important because something that can push you as well. Because sometimes you're so busy already focusing on putting food on the table
Yeah.
that sometimes you're scattered already, and your support system, your wife or your husband, is the one who's put you back on there. You have to choose which one. And then, with that said, like, what happening to her is like, it's I don't want to say it's life and death. But do you want to see yourself 5 to 10 years doing the same thing and risking
Yeah.
your life?
Exactly.
I
I mean, the thing with her is that you have such a unique story, and I love it. It's one of those stories that, like, it's motivational because you were determined to change your life. And I see your kids, and when I met them, they like enjoy that you get to see them more.
Yeah.
Before you didn't get to see them.
So, yeah,
So
So-
they
Yeah.
grow up with basically a mom that works. Now they're growing up with seeing their mom, having
Yeah.
the quality. That's the
Yeah.
biggest thing. And I think for me, your story is very similar to a lot of people. The only
Yeah.
thing is they don't have the courage
like,
Yeah.
like you did.
Yeah.
I know.
And then the thing,
That's very important.
I don't know if you mind me telling, because I know your husband told me, like, he got sick, right?
Yeah.
And that's even another. Imagine she worked 4 jobs, including this one, right?
Yeah.
And then she had a kids. Their kids are young, and then her husband got sick.
In the hospital, and we celebrate our new year. I will never forget that 2017, because he was diagnosed 2016. He has not really like a heart attack, but
Yeah.
God, luckily it's not really going to that, but he's having a hard breath on that time,
Yeah.
and then we thought that it's really like he's not gonna
Might
make
be a
it.
heart
On
attack or
yeah, and then we celebrate New Year, and my youngest is only like 6 months,
wow.
and that's the job that I'm just doing, like whatever. I don't remember at all what it is, you know, because it's always a lot, like what I told you,
Yeah.
and being a MLM also, I'm also adding on that. That's
Yeah.
why it's very hard for me, to be honest, to build myself. Like I said, I know this is some kind of like a big challenge for me,
Yeah.
but I said no. If the matter is you believe for what you believe, and
Yep.
you need to show it to them
And stick with it.
genuinely.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just be yourself, right?
Yeah, and then when she told us that she quit her job, so of course it's not just pressure for her, but it's a pressure for us. Like we
Yeah.
have to make sure you
Because
replace
you're
her.
responsible for her.
Yeah, so we just devised a plan with her, since you're getting consistent appointments. We told her, okay, just focus on one thing, because you've been doing a lot of things. People look at you as like, a store now because you're carrying everything. But
Yep.
if you just
Yeah.
focus on one thing,
Correct.
and just set your mind on it, then eventually you will.
Yeah, people just start forgetting what you did before because they start seeing the success you're doing now.
Yeah.
And they just know you as what you are now.
Yeah.
And the good thing, for me, I still see that you have such a big future, especially like you just recruited someone yesterday. I mean, that's a big step, because I know you're a personal producer. I know that recruiting is a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, that is my challenge.
But you're getting there. I mean, definitely, it's something that
when
you
she
learn.
decided to do that, quit her job and focus on it, her name was always on the leaderboards and awards. She was getting consecutive awards.
Yep.
She got her promotion as an RVP, which is one of her goal at the time.
Yeah.
But for me, as one of his mentor, what I like about that one is that I saw her from this person in Starbucks now spending more time with the kids. Her
Yeah.
excuse now on doing the business is not, because I have to deliver medication. It's because my kids wants to go on vacation.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. And now I barely see her because she's always on vacation with the kids. Plus now she's all Gucci out now.
Oh, she's wearing Chanel right now.
She's not wearing delivery
That's a whole
uniforms,
different level.
I know. Before I was only like, oh, okay, my budget is going to Ross, okay? To
Yeah.
Ross.
Yeah.
So
Not in South Coast Plaza or Beverly
So
Hills.
now
no.
that you and of course the COVID happened, hotels were shut down. So your husband as well
I know.
is at home. Now did you see, like, do you see that your kids and your husband kind of see now the fruit of your labor? That good thing you stuck on doing this industry rather than your 3 to 4 jobs.
Yes, yeah. They really saw that.
Yeah.
It started with my husband. He was really thankful, even though sometimes, because me and my husband were like a cat and dog. Yeah, but we're always compatible for what we're believing in our lives. And then he was always saying that, like, and even my son, I was surprised. My second one, Sean.
I think I met him.
Yeah. And then he was saying, Mom, could you imagine? He was always the one always remind me. Like, for example, we're eating, we're watching TV, and then, Mom, I remember you're not in the house. In this time, you're gone. And then tomorrow morning, I saw I go to school. Right? And then he also see that his dad is not working yet, right? And then, but I provide everything. And then, literally, and then, for God's, I always thankful to God, like, if he wants a little bit something for himself, because I'm also trying to teach my son that even though now your mom, you didn't see me as a kuracha before, but now you saw me a kuracha here, because he always saw me, Mom, before you're not in here, but now sometimes you're not sleeping, you're always holding your laptop.
Yeah.
I'm always in my little table. But he knows what I'm doing, right? And then he was saying that no, I'm always telling him too that this hard works that I'm doing, I want to pass it over to you, or maybe to your little. I hope you will also pick up the value of what we're doing, because I'm telling you, you will gonna be way ahead, and always thinking that if you do this for not saving, don't do it.
Yeah.
I'm telling him, because it's nonsense. I
And
told him.
when your son saw that too, I remember it kind of motivated him to help you with the business, right? He set up an appointment
Yeah,
with
with his
his
best
friends.
friend, mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, really good.
Because I motivate sometimes, especially now, because he's getting thin, right? And then if he saw a shoes like just right now, because it's funny because we go to Staples, right? My errands, I do it, right? I need to fax like whatever we needed today for my current policy client, and then I give him the vaccine, and then because he's gonna start school on August 31st, and then Staples, and then there's a store named Frybait. To be honest, Ace, James, and Fred, we live in that area since 2000. But I say 2009, okay? I never been in that store.
What is it called?
Private.
Oh.
And then he says, Mom, can we get inside there? And then it's all the stuff for men, like shoes, like really there's a collection in there that there are famous basketball. The owner of the Louis Vuitton wallet.
So like the collectibles,
Yeah, collectibles.
sneakers.
And then
Yeah.
when I saw the shoes that he was holding, it was just like 149. I said, oh, that is not something like Finish Line anymore.
Or
And then-
DSW.
Yeah, and then I asked the cashier, and then I said, is this store is new? And then he says, no, we've been here for 8 years. I said, what?
Wow.
Staples is next to that. Staples is my next office because I
Yeah.
always go there. I said, I never been in this store. And then my son said, like, Mom, I really like that shoes. So whenever he wants something, I always telling him, okay, the mission. I was
Yeah.
telling him,
That's
you
good.
just help mommy, and then some of things that you like, we can buy. Because I told him sometimes, even though I don't give everything to my kids.
That's
Because
right.
I want to
Teach
let
the
them
value.
know that everything that he saw or that they saw from me, it's just like a little reward for myself.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
make it sure that all the most priority finances or our needs is be taken care of. You
Yeah,
know?
so Ace is taking notes. So if your kids want something, you refer your friend. Okay?
Yeah.
Start now.
I said,
Start now.
the mission, like Mama Jem
Yeah.
said, right?
That's
So-
good. I mean, like her story, like I'll go back to like when she had clothes in her car. I just remember when I started in this business, maybe like the first 3 years, I would have suits in my
In a car. Yeah.
car, and me and my mom would drive to Sacramento early in the morning, do a meeting. So I'm wearing like
From LA
from LA.
yeah.
to Sacramento.
Sacramento. So we do that on Saturday, and we come back like Sunday morning. And I told you, sometimes I get so tired to drive home, so I have to like sleep at the truck stop.
Yeah.
So people that look at me, they're like, have you even struggled? I struggled. Like from the beginning, I mean, it wasn't like how everyone thinks it is. Like, oh, I just became successful. No,
I know.
you got to work on it. And I can see you get there. It just takes time. You just got to be patient.
I know.
It'll work. Just
Yeah.
make sure you don't ever give up. Like I always tell our agents, if you gave up 5 years ago, like you've been with me for 6 years. Let's say you gave up 3 years ago, you wouldn't be at 400,000 or 300,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You'd be
always
like
the
you'd be an RN. And what's that gonna do? You making 150 a year max. I mean, that's just something that I look at all the agents like. As soon as you stop, you just gave up on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the good thing is your family is very supportive. That reminds you every time that
Yeah.
where your life was compared to where it is now.
Yeah.
Yep.
That puts you back. And the good thing is you're consistent, especially on your business as well. And we know how hard you work.
Yeah, we know.
with your clients.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's very important, like to see the struggles. That everybody is not it's not protected on struggles. You're not invincible, but
No.
you're gonna go through something. But the
Yep.
key is if you're consistent and you're always not afraid to go back and doing it again, you're gonna be successful. And like Fred said, like if you stop now, what's gonna happen?
Next.
5 to 10 years from now.
Yeah.
The very important question like she had is like, do I see myself stuck doing the same thing every time? So and I know Ace also has encountered with his team as well, like the same thing. Like it's the same scenario, same story. It's just a different approach,
Yeah.
right, or perspective. And we're not saying our time is perfect. It actually got hectic too,
Yeah.
But it's a very important that at least they understand like how did Suzette handle that time management. But what I've got from that one is just you have to really just commit.
Yep.
You just have to
Like-
sometimes take that leap.
Like with her, I have like I guess you can say like there's a thing that when I think about her, there's something like that's different from all the agents. She reminds me of my mom.
I know. I always also.
It just that's
Story
when
of
we were
the
growing
day.
up, like when my mom was doing A.O. Williams and Prime America, it's like that. It was like that. Like
I know.
I didn't see her like
Yeah.
that much.
Was that the same to you, Ace? Your mom?
Always.
It was like that, dude. And I could just imagine. I could just remember, like I just imagine your kids what they thought because I thought the same. It's like
Yeah.
I could just see my mom like, oh man, you work a lot.
Yeah, and then don't worry, guys. As long as you like and subscribe in this video, we will have our moms in this.
Yeah,
I promise.
You'll hear their story.
Yeah, you gotta hear their story and how we were. Not that bad, but
Yeah.
when we were kids. But
Yeah.
but everybody goes through the same struggles. It's just the important thing is not just the struggles, but the decision you made along the way,
Yep.
Yeah.
or the choices you made that made you now.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you want to add more into that story?
Yeah, I think another story now that I want to share is a little bit the life changing. But I could never say myself right and then that I'm successful, right? But the story I want to share every single day. I'm so happy, to be honest. Like and before I sleep, sometimes I never ask anything to him.
Yeah.
It's just like, because I can't ask for more, but I always just like ask to God, like just always give me that kind of courage not to stop, because I know it. Because I also have just want to share, I also have like 8 sisters in the Philippines. Like they're 8, and then brothers and sisters, and then my mom is there,
Yeah.
and that's the story I want to share, because I wanna see them my journey, and I'm so happy if that thing happened, that my big dream. I wanna buy a house for my mom, and then my like give like small business support to my brothers and sisters. Actually, they're my stepbrother and sisters. Yeah.
So that's kind of like your next goal, your dream.
Yeah, even though, because I'm only daughter, and then here I want also get a house, and then secondly, I really want to have like an office like this.
Yeah.
I want to really have a team, but I know they said dream big, because it's free, but I need to do some execution for that.
Wow, that's a very, very important thing. And me and Ace and Fred were actually talking about this last podcast. Is the goal of this podcast is to share that story and the struggle and that dream, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna look into this moment today that you did the podcast. When we interview you next time, most likely that story that you were saying now that is just a dream probably now is a reality.
We're probably doing a podcast in your office.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be really cool.
I know. It's. Remember, I'm just always thinking myself, like, before I start, I know I said it's hard, and then all of majority, I can't do it, right? But now I said, for me to do that, I think I just always go back for that kind of thing. So at least I need to, I'm gonna move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then as long as I think, I just also want to share, and I've learned, because people come and go. Who people you gonna come, like you gonna bring, right?
Mm-hmm.
They will. Me, I always believe that nobody will stay. Just always thinking about that. But it's also good that you will have. If you build a good relationship, I know they will stay for you, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're really like a good leader,
Yes.
But I know it's hard, because like what I said, you can't please anybody,
Yeah.
right? Anybody has a different opinions and
Exactly.
visions
Yes.
in their lives. But for me, that's also the power of I think that's why you're like that right now, and then Atinida, and you guys. And I said that is always, I prayed
Yeah.
to God that give me my the
Courage.
courage to
yeah.
be a great leader. I
Yeah.
want to be really a builder, because I know being a producer, I'm not saying I'm so good, but I think I'm okay for that now. And that's the thing that I'm working with myself.
Yeah, and then that will make you level up more, right?
Yeah.
So I have a last question, but before I ask my last question, we usually give our guests an opportunity to also ask us questions.
Yeah.
In that way, it's not just you talking.
Yeah. I'm always the one to talk.
So you can ask us whatever question you want. and
Okay.
we'll-
Yeah, I will start to him. Yeah. So
Oh.
No pressure. You pick a good
What?
person to ask a question.
no, but actually it's also for everybody,
Yeah.
right? I just want to ask you, like, how do you make yourself? Because I know you're an engineer, right? And
Yeah.
then because I know a lot of people will says this. Oh yeah, because right now he's like that because he has a lot of market, right? That's why.
That's what people say. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But for me, I really wanna ask you and have a like a tips, or how could you teach us? Because I'm in a sometimes I'm in a stage that, oh my God, I know this kind of business they said you're gonna build because you're gonna being protected for not being a producer, right? And then you're not gonna have a sale. But how do you overcome yourself right now, being like really consistent, and still remember when you always talking in the front, like I said, I wanna be like Fred, like you never write a pen anymore. But
Yeah.
still,
No.
how
It's not a secret.
What
I
is the
just,
key?
I just feel like I don't have it. People think I have a big market. People think that I can write a lot of business. People think, I have a lot of agents. It wasn't overnight. Like, that 3,500 agents wasn't overnight. It took some time. Like a little story about the Sacramento. That's just a little bit of the beginning of my life, but with this business. But I think for me, the key is every day you meet somebody, but it's how you look like towards them, like how you approach them and how they feel towards you. I think it's a relationship building for me. I feel like I'm good at being confident and knowing my product, knowing my business, and knowing like I can change somebody to a better person. I don't know. It's kind of weird. That's how I look at it. Like especially when I recruit like, for me, I feel confident enough that I can recruit them because we offer something really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you guys are really good because you really keep your people. Like, imagine Tita Needs has
Yeah, it's
group
been a
like
while.
7 years.
Yeah, it's been
I
a
said,
while.
I'm always praying I want to have a team
Yeah.
like
No,
that.
I mean, like one more thing, like it's not always like that. Like before we moved here or before we got to Cerritos, we were in Glendale and we had a big group there. But of course, like, misunderstanding everything, that big group, decided to go somewhere else. So they do leave. But the only thing is me and my mom, like I always tell my mom, sometimes my mom gets really emotional about it because she feels like she's friends with everybody and that's her family. And I always tell her, like, if one leaves, that means God's giving us an opportunity to get a new one that's replacing or even better. I always look forward for it. Like, I never let it down, like let me down. Like if someone leaves you, it's because it's probably better. Maybe that person can grow somewhere else, or you can grow better without that person. Because someone else will find you. And that person that you find, like we found, like it's so weird how I found your mom.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing. Like I
Out of the blue.
I was recruiting a CPA and his friend said that, oh, you got to call Gemma Strong. I'm like, who's that? And then he's like, yeah, she's a recruiter. She knows a lot of people. La da da.
And we've been actually looking for your mom
Oh,
at
really?
the time because
I wish you called her.
we were looking for a new home, and my mom remembered meeting your mom somewhere.
Yeah.
And for some reason, like you said, God's grace,
It was very.
he connects everyone for
Yeah,
that.
it was like he gave me the business card. He doesn't even know Tita Gemma.
Yeah. So that's the side of the story on him, and then the side of the story of my mom at the time. He just knew that he has to call Tita Nita, your mom,
Yeah.
because we were looking for a new home at the time, business wise, And at the time was when I actually decided, okay, let me try and help you. So my mom was eager to find like where I can, be successful
Yeah.
at the time when I was starting. And the only thing we can do is, find something that has a system, right?
Yeah.
Because we were looking at opening up our own brokerage, our own IMO at the time. So for some reason she remembered your mom's name and she was looking for that, and it happened that you called.
Yeah. It's so funny. I called her and she answers. She answers all the time. But I was like, hello, is this Gemma Strong? And she's like, yeah, it's speaking. And I'm like, oh, do you know Roland? I forgot his last name now. And then Flores. Yeah. She's like, I think so. Oh.
She knows everyone, so every time you say name, she's gonna say
yes. She's like, I think so. And then I was like, oh, my name is Frederick Villagonzalo. I wanted to talk to you about the business that we're doing right now. And I heard that you have an agency. Like, I introduced myself. And that's the thing. I told you, like, it doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter how big they are. I tried contacting Matt. He's probably way 10 times bigger than me. But it doesn't matter because you can reach somebody by words that you say might be different than what they heard before.
Yeah.
So like imagine we recruited your mom and you never thought that you guys would be the top leaders in our company.
Yeah.
In him like
never
that.
know.
So you'll never know. Maybe this guy, the North Carolina guy, or the past recruits that you had might wake up one day and say, Suzette, I want to do it now.
And I highly agree on that because I can give you heaven and earth, but if I don't see something that I want to see on that person, doesn't matter if it's money or culture or something, I'm not gonna work with
That's
you.
right.
Right? You can be the best company, the best manner, but if we don't connect, then what's in
That's
there
right.
for me, right? So it's true. Like sometimes like they see like we do a BOP of. That's why the reason why Fred can say that or things like that, because you already had earned money or you already built a team. And that's a focus of this podcast is that, to show that we were where you at before we
Everyone started where you started.
Yeah. But what matters is what you do with that opportunity that you have, right? Some typical questions that we also get a lot of times because we built this company as a family. And I highly believe if you treat people like your family, if you raise your team like how your mom raised you, is gonna be the best way to build a team. Like if that's your goal. But like every time like we see like it's a mom and son, it's a good thing. But the negative part about that is that the reason why Ace was successful because his mom did it first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Imagine my footsteps I had to follow. I mean that's a big foot.
I know.
Yeah.
Big foot.
But us, we have to find our own path.
Your thing, the thing that matters is what you did with it.
Yeah.
Yes. For example, let's say Ace mom started this business already, and Ace came with it. Yes, it was given that the mom already created something, but what matters is what did Ace do?
Yeah.
What choice did he make?
Yep.
Right. And it's the same footstep that kind of like we followed like Fred, right? It's the same story that you have, right, Ace?
Yeah. Actually, I want to add to your question to Fred. One of the biggest advice that I can give in this industry, because this is exactly how I did it when I first started. Find someone and be honest with yourself. Find someone who is really richer than you, who's making more money than you, who who knows more than you, and it doesn't have to be in the same industry, but ask them how did you get there? What did you do? What were the steps that took you to get to where you're at today?
Yeah.
Because no matter what, they're not going to say no. I just want to know. A lot of people who already made it, they want to share. They want to share like what they did. They want to be recognized for what they've done. They want to be able to share and help those who are just about to start, right? And it's the same thing with us. You ask us, for example, do we have like what if someone doesn't have a big market? And this is why it's good to ask people who really made it. Like for example, we have agents that some who are I'm not gonna say names, but some who are they're cleaners, right? They clean, or some who are not professionals. But how do they have a market? How are they making so much money? 300, 500, 600,000. How do they do it? And we talk about in this business a lot about building. And when we say building, is it all just about recruiting? Is it all just about, just making a type of income? The secret sauce really to building, and it's been out now. It's been said now in all the different episodes that we've done, but it's about relationships.
Yeah.
Because if there's two ways you can this is how I tell my team. Okay, there's two ways we can do this. Let's say, for example, if I'm going to work with you, and I hope everyone who is listening, this is a very good nugget. Whatever company you're working with, this is very good. Okay, if I'm working with you, this is how I'm going to do it. I will, after I work with you as a client, I can do two things. One is I can ask you for referrals. Right? I can ask you for referrals. Now that would make me very happy. Right? It might not make you happy, but it might make you happy that you're able to refer the product to others. But it made me happy because, hey, I'm going to have a good commission if I make that sale.
Yeah.
Or we can do it two ways. Why don't we have a relationship together? Why don't we go in business together? Let's now work together. Instead of me just making the money, why don't I give you that opportunity?
Yeah, that's a good way.
And when you look at this, it's now more of not just about recruiting you. It's more about how can we both benefit? How can we create a relationship where we can coexist, where we can work together in this industry? Because even if I don't have that market, you might have that market.
Right.
You see, if I don't know a lot of people, by a lot, I mean, let's say thousands or 100. If I only knew like 10 people, I'm pretty sure one out of those 10 people knows a lot of people. Now, if I can really work with that person, even if I don't have a market, I can tap into that market. See, that's the main thing about building. Building is about relationships so that we can go ahead and tap into other markets because I don't have a market.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and it's a business, so it's like you're hiring the right people to talk to the right people, right?
Got it.
So for example, let's say I don't know people and I'm in the medical field. I have a lot of nurses that I know, but I don't know how to approach them.
Yep.
Right? But I
Yeah,
have a
exactly,
friend
sometimes like
like
that.
Ace. Ace is a nurse. So I'll hire Ace since he's my friend. I just have to build that relationship like Ace was saying.
Yep.
And then I can ask Ace's help how he can approach nurses.
True.
But I don't know how to talk to engineers. They're very numbers guy. So I'll just ask Fred to go to my meeting.
And people do that.
Yeah.
People always say, "Can you come to? Can you recruit this guy? His guy's an engineer. He's a computer science engineer. He's a programmer, or he's any kind of engineer." And they're like, "I go, why me?" And they're like, "Yo, your background." I'm like, "Okay." And then the reason why is because they can relate. Like
They can relate.
sometimes people, when I meet them, they go, "You quit Microsoft? Like that's crazy." You know.
That's
And
pretty
I'm
crazy.
like, no, it's crazy if I didn't, because I'd still be there making
You got
that
it.
income, and I don't
You
make
got it.
this.
I know.
You got it.
Look, let me add to that. I know it's a big question. That she
It's a big
asked.
question. Yeah.
For me, this is what I'm gonna leave you. How I got to this point, and you know how you said you're like you don't feel like you're successful yet,
Yeah.
but in a way you are, because you don't have the 3 jobs,
No, yeah, that's true.
and then now you have the kids
Correct.
time,
Yeah.
and you have the opportunity to travel. That's success for me. For me, I feel like I remember going to seminars or conventions, and I was new, and I saw Petro, Bill, all them. Like I'm like, I want to talk in front of the
Wanna be
seminar
like-
like that. I want to talk like that. You know, I even was there. You know, like when you're saying,
Yeah,
I want to be. I was at this point that, you know, Uncafer, Andy.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of annuities, and the reason why is because of him. I used to go to his training and just learn how to speak the way he did, do everything, present, and I got successful doing that with annuities. But what made me change was I wanted to build, like I wanted to be able to build, and that snapped in my head, like stop writing business, just
Yeah,
build an organization, and you have to follow through, like. No matter what, like even if you feel like someone you didn't recruit, someone left you, you just keep going.
It's the same mentality that you had when you first decided that I'm going to quit my job and I'm just going to set up appointment with clients once a week. It's the same mentality that you're going to have. You're just going to switch that I'm building.
I know.
I got to
Yeah.
recruit one person a
Yeah.
week.
And it's like Fred mentioned too, and we always like, highly like teach and, lay the message to everyone is that success doesn't have to be the big thing. You have to make sure
Yeah.
to celebrate all those small wins.
Yep.
Like we're always saying, like not all BOP everyone's gonna sign up, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's times that actually,
yeah, we would love it.
yeah. There's times that actually, we sometimes like feel like, why would I go to this meeting of BOP and there's only 1 to 2 person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes they didn't even sign up, or
Yeah.
they didn't even have a question,
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's still a small win because you got up, you're alive, you went to
Yeah,
that
and you
office, you met
still-
someone new,
Yeah.
right? Instead of you didn't do anything. So you have to still look at those things as a success, because sometimes it threw you off that, oh, this is not for me.
Yeah.
It's not working anymore, right? It's not like they used to be, like I can set up appointments on the fly, and now it's not working out.
Yeah.
It's just a hurdle, but like you said, God has always a plan.
Yeah.
So
That's
hopefully that kind of answered your question.
Yeah, it is. I got a tip now. Thank you
Yeah,
so much, guys.
it's so like listening to your story humbled me down again. I just remember all the times doing presentations at a house.
Yeah.
I used to do that, and it was just a family, and they're just moving, kids are running around, and there's food going on. It's so
crazy,
hard to
yeah.
concentrate. I used to do that, and I used to hate it, but I just did it because I
It's
just
part of the
needed
process.
and I needed the experience. I looked at it as, the more I do this, the better I get. The more I do, the better.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna get the message. Someone's gonna go through it. I just kept doing it, and I just remember just to the point that I was like, you know what, I think I've gotten it already to the point, and then I just kind of move forward.
And,
from
and
there.
that's why we love what we do.
Yeah.
Because hearing your story, it's not because, oh, we made it, oh, I'm a $1 million
Yeah.
earner, oh, I'm already the
Yeah, that's the thing I love here.
You know,
Because, all time
But we
laborers-
always go
a small
we're
story
humbled
one.
hearing your story.
Yeah,
just
love it.
because it also kind of reminds us where we started.
Yeah.
And that's the goal of this podcast. With that, before we end this, before I pass it to Ace, we kind of missed asking this question from a couple of our guests. In your own words, if everything was perfect, if no problems, no responsibility, you have the house for your family, how can you define that? Suzette, you can tell one time, Suzette, I made it. I'm successful. So what is success to you?
For me, yeah, I think I also gonna say first what he told me, right? For me, success is when you find your peace of mind to yourself. Number one, and for me, success as long as everybody in the family is also healthy. Because I always believe before, when I was in high school, right, I always write it down in my little notes. And healthy is wealthy. Something
Yeah.
Health is wealth.
Yeah, health is wealth. Something like that. Yeah, you're correct on that. So that's the meaning for me of my success. And then I know one time I also watched the podcast when Ron Bloom was talking, one of your guests.
Yeah.
I really like that. And I also believe on that thing that he says, because success is all about freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, because anything in this world, a lot of people successful in their career, but they're not happy because they're not having a freedom.
Yeah.
You're successful, but you're hectic all the time. You don't even, like what you said, see your kids, or you don't have a freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
And
me, success is like that, and also success is a commitment for me. I think so.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
a commitment and a hard works for yourself. That is one
Wow.
of success.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
like that.
You're gonna make us cry because that means our podcast was touching people because you remember what Bloom said.
Yeah.
So we're doing great, guys. we
Yeah, I
can
really
continue
like
this.
that when I watched that. I said, "Oh my God, I know from the word freedom."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
that
then
is really for real.
like I like what you said because don't get me wrong. Of course, you need money to buy things and stuff.
Yeah.
But money is just a byproduct of the things that you do. But it can provide you that peace of mind that you have.
Yeah.
Your money cannot buy happiness or a cure to cancer. But that peace of mind that at least you can still provide for your loved ones is the key, right?
Definitely.
So, do you guys want to add more?
I have a question. If there is an agent that's in your same position when you started, what can you
that's
give
a good
them?
one.
What advice can you give them to be successful like you?
I think if I have an agent same position like me, the very biggest advice that I could say is never ever think that you never like don't judge yourself.
Yeah.
Always think that even though it's a very hardest thing to do, it's very impossible. Just always think it that it will be possible as long as you put yourself into that.
Yeah.
And like I always tell to myself, I will never ever give up because I already see what's the outcome
Yeah.
of that hard works that I did.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the advice that I'm gonna get. I'm gonna give it to that agent, and just also be yourself. Like what I said, don't be so hard, because the moment you push it more, it's gonna be more harder.
Yeah.
So, but you need to put an effort. It's not just like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
like this, not like that. Like, because remember, if we invite somebody, sometimes because I think that's one of my failure right now. That's why when you see my back office, my recruit was since last year, I was being like a producer. But I also tell to myself, like in the morning, I'm successful. I'm a great leader.
Yeah.
I'm a great mom. I'm a great wife.
Yeah.
You are.
I want to be a great
Yeah.
daughter too. That's also I want to tell it to that agent.
That's
like
good.
first thing in the morning when you woke up, always tell to yourself, thank to God first thing in the morning that you wake up, you have breath, and then you have the courage to be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Before
all-
it's funny. One time I never rush. You're successful, right? I always tell that to myself.
it is. It's all about the mindset. It's not impossible, but I'm possible.
Yeah,
So it's the way you
that's
look at things. So with that, I want to pass this to Ace
Yep.
so he can close it and
Yep.
maybe
Well,
last parting word.
first, we thank you so much
Thank you
for
so much.
sharing. This is
I'm
what's
also
crazy
thankful
about
and
what
so
we do here.
grateful.
We really thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
See, when I heard James like we have a special guest for today, I was like, who is it? It's gonna be Suzette. I was like, man, I want to hear her story so much. Like, see, you know what? This is the reason why I love what I do. Okay, a lot of our jobs, us three here, a lot of our jobs, what we have to do is we have to inspire and motivate agents who are just starting and really get them into the mindset about this business. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm more inspired now again of my business just from hearing the story that you
Wow.
mentioned. Think about it,
Thank you so much.
I love doing that because the inspiration that you give, and I hope that gets the listeners that are listening to this podcast because. I'm gonna say 4 jobs because being a mother is one of the hardest jobs.
Yeah.
I know that with my wife, it's one of the hardest jobs, and you're trying to figure out a way of how to put this business in, and all the golden nuggets that you brought in today, and it's not you brought in stuff that's very personal that some people wouldn't share. Think about like you talked about family, like, about you and your husband, What this podcast has done, this exact story that you've given, is you've given people all the different angles, all the different scenarios that, me and my spouse, maybe we aren't, on the same page. And I've been wanting to start to do this business, but now because of the story that you've shared, I'm going all in. I'm committing. One of the things that I love to share to people is you're not going to be successful until you fully commit.
Correct.
And by you sharing the stories that you have today, I'm telling you, this is probably one of the best stories I'm really inspired
Wow.
from your story today. So we thank you so much for being here.
You're
We
welcome.
appreciate it again from the bottom of our hearts, and I hope you continue to inspire others. And we know that you are a great leader.
I know I will.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
Thank you.
much.
See
All
you.
right, guys.
See you guys next week.
See ya.